Hey there, movie fans. This is going to be shelf 23 of my DVD collection, and we start off with the first row, and the first movie of the first row is The Great Waldo Pepper with Robert Redford, directed by George Roy Hill, who also did The Sting and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Here we have The Great St. Louis Bank Robbery, one of Steve McQueen's early films. Here's a wonderful film, The Greatest Show on Earth by Cecil B. DeMille with Charlton Heston, and that is James Stewart as a clown. It recently has gotten a Blu-ray release, which I am definitely going to get very soon. This is Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, the Lord of the Apes. Arguably the best Tarzan movie ever made, with Christopher Lambert as Tarzan and Andy McDowell there next to him. Yeah, very, very beautiful film, this one. Il Grido by Michelangelo Antonioni, pretty good film. And here we have the Japanese DVD set of Grindhouse. You know, that has, it has Grindhouse, the double feature version, as well as the standalone versions of Planet Terror and what was the other one? Death Proof. But yeah, very, very nice release, this one. Here we have one of the first, if not the first, Jaws ripoff, Grizzly. I believe this came out a year after Jaws. Yeah, 76. Yeah, it came out a year after Jaws. So I do believe that this was the first one of many Jaws ripoffs. Jaws with claws, Grizzly. A lot of fun, this one. And here is Werner Herzog's fantastic documentary, Grizzly Man. Gross Point Blank, very enjoyable action comedy. And this is a Dutch buddy cop film, Grijpsta en de Gier, with Rutger Hauer, you can see him there, and Rijk de Gooier. This is a very decent film, with Robert De Niro. Guilty by Suspicion. This is, he plays a filmmaker who's, being accused of being a communist. This is back in the day, during the McCarthy era, the witch hunt in the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s. It also has a short role of Martin Scorsese, by the way. But it's a pretty good film, very well acted. Gun Fury, Western with Rock Hudson and the beautiful Donna Reed, who is also in It's a Wonderful Life. And this is quite a decent Western as well, Gunfight, or A Gunfight, which is the original title, with Kirk Douglas and Johnny Cash. I quite enjoyed it. Gunga Din, classic adventure movie with Cary Grant, Victor McLaglen, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Here we have Charles Bronson in The Guns of Diablo, also with Kurt Russell when he was just a kid. I believe he was 13, 14 years old, something like that, at that time. But basically, this is 2 episodes combined of a short-lived television series called The Travels of Jamie McFeeters, and it's not available on DVD, but you can get it on bootleg DVD though. Gutterballs. This is such an insane, gory movie by Ryan Nicholson, who I believe he passed away not so long ago. Can I show you the back? A little 20 minutes longer triple X hardcore version, as it says here. Yeah, such a crazy movie, that one. but a lot of fun. This is the Dutch media book of Her Name Was Sarah, starring Kristen Scott Thomas. Now here's a wonderful little indie film, Half Nelson, with Ryan Gosling playing a teacher with a drug addiction. Very well acted. Yeah, very beautiful little film, this one. Halloween, 25 Years of Terror. The great documentary about the franchise. Also includes a comic book. Yeah, wonderful documentary. And here I have the ultra rare bootleg edition of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, or as it says here, Halloween 666, The Origin of Michael Myers. This contains, I do apologize for the glare, but anyway, as you can see there, it contains the producer's cut, the director's cut, the rough cut, and the television cut, and there's also a bonus disc. And there's another disc which contains the television cut of Halloween 2. Yeah, it's a terrible movie, but I got this for collectible reasons. You know, it is a very rare edition. And as you can see, you know, I used to have a lot more Halloween DVDs, but I got rid of most of them. I only kept these two because I got the you know, the Blu-ray box set, so I didn't really need the other ones. I sold them some time ago. Anyway, the Hammer horror series. This one contains Brides of Dracula, The Curse of the Werewolf, Phantom of the Opera, Paranoiac, or something like that. The Kiss of the Vampire, Nightmare, Night Creatures, and the Evil of Frankenstein. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Rebecca De Mornay's finest hour, in my opinion. She is such an evil bitch in this movie. Very, very great thriller, this one. Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood. I have this on Blu-ray as well. Randall Scott Western, Hangman's Knot, again with Donna Reed. And also with Lee Marvin. Yeah, I do enjoy these classic westerns. And I enjoyed this one as well. This is the Hanzo the Razor trilogy. Look at that picture there. That is insane. But this one stars Shintaro KATSU, best known as Zatoichi. The films are Sword of Justice, The Snare, and Who's Got the Gold. Very, very entertaining Japanese films. He plays a policeman who has a very unusual but effective interrogation method. I won't tell you what it is, you just have to watch it yourself. John Woo's action masterpiece, Hard Boiled. I am getting the Blu-ray soon. Hard Candy, which is a pretty good thriller. The Hard Way. I actually saw this at the cinema back in the day. When did this came out? 1991. Jesus, I'm old. Harsh Times, Christian Bale. Yeah, pretty good film. This is a wonderful film. A wonderful Spanish fantasy, drama, comedy. The Heart of the Warrior. It's sort of you know, it's about this kid who has this very wild, vivid imagination, and it is sort of a homage and parody to Conan the Barbarian, you know, something like that. But it's very enjoyable. One of the greatest documentaries about filmmaking, Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's Apocalypse, which is of course about the making of Apocalypse Now. It also has another short documentary called Coda, 30 Years Later. This is behind the scenes of Youth Without Youth, another Coppola film that he made. Yeah, very, very good. Here we have Heavenly Creatures, Peter Jackson's masterpiece. Yeah, and I believe this is Kate Winslet's first movie. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. Helen of Troy, classic Hollywood adventure movie. And the last title of this first row is the excellent Hell in the Pacific with Lee Marvin and Toshiro Mifune, excuse me. Really, really good war film, this one. Now here's an excellent war film as well. Hell is for Heroes with Steve McQueen. Here we have Hellboy, director's cut. And here I got two Hellboy animation movies, Blood and Iron and Sword of Storms. This DVD edition contains two horror films from Pakistan, Hell's Ground and Dracula in Pakistan. Very enjoyable movies, these two. This is a magnificent martial arts film, Hero by Zhang Yimou. Yeah, just visually amazing film. High Fidelity, yeah, very enjoyable film as well. The classic Western High Noon. I got this on Blu-ray as well, twice actually. Two different Blu-ray editions. Here we have Highlander. There can be only one. Well, in this case, there can be only one because this is the only good Highlander movie. The rest are all terrible. Absolutely terrible. The Hills Have Eyes. I got this on Blu-ray too, but the reason why I kept this one is because it contains the documentary The American Nightmare, which isn't on any other editions or Blu-ray editions. So there you go. 1970s disaster movie The Hindenburg with George C. Scott and Bancroft. Yeah, pretty good film. The Hitcher, the classic with Rutger Hauer. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. It's finally going to get a Blu-ray release that will be put out by Second Sight. Of course, you already have the German Blu-ray editions, but I was waiting for another edition, and now Second Sight is going to put it out. So very much looking forward to that. This is the first part of a television series called The Hitchhiker. I basically got this because the episode, here it is, the last scene, was directed by Paul Verhoeven, as you can see there. It also has an audio commentary by him as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I got this. Here's a fun sci-fi comedy, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And here is one of Chuck Norris's better films, The Hitman. Yep, pretty good. Hoffa with Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito, who also directed the film. And here is the lovely Holiday Inn. Yeah, perfect film to watch during the Christmas holidays. Yeah, as you can see, it also has the it has the original black and white version and the colorized version, which I'm not a big fan of. Speaking of holiday films, here's a 4-film DVD set, the greatest classic films collection. So you got Christmas in Connecticut, A Christmas Carol, The Shop Around the Corner, also with James Stewart, and It Happened on Fifth Avenue. And here is Volume 2, which contains, again, It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Don't know why the same movies on both these editions. Anyway, the other three editions are All Mine to Give, Holiday Affair, and Blossoms in the Dust. A romantic comedy with Steve McQueen, The Honeymoon Machine. And this is a great Shaw Brothers film, Hong Kong Godfather. You know, the final 10-15 minutes or so is just insane, insanely bloody and gory and violent. Yeah, really good film, this one. Speaking of Hong Kong films, this set contains Bullet in the Head, John Woo film, Police Assassins, aka Yes Madam, Yes Ma'am, Yes Ma'am, that's it, not Yes Madam, and Red Wolf, which is the least one of these three films, in my opinion. The 3-disc collector's edition of Hot Fuzz. Here we have House of Wax with Vincent Price, and also with Charles Bronson there in the middle. But at that time he was named Charles Buczynski. That was his, that was his real name. Yep. Wonderful Miyazaki film, Studio Ghibli classic, Howl's Moving Castle. This is the Australian release, by the way. The Hudsucker Proxy by the Coen Brothers. Another Shaw Brothers classic, Human Lanterns, which is sort of a combination between kung fu and horror. As you can see there, there's a very nice still there of a woman being scalped. Isn't that nice? The Hunted by William Friedkin. It might not be one of Friedkin's best film, but I do like it. I do think it's a good film. Really good performances by Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. It does have sort of First Blood vibe to it, but I liked it. Nice, cat and mouse, although not really cat and mouse. It's more like a cat and cat game, if you know what I mean. And the boat professional, skillful assassins. But yeah, it's pretty good. The Hunted. And from The Hunted to The Hunter with Steve McQueen, his final film, unfortunately. And here I have a double feature DVD from Wild East, I Am the Law and Mafia. Yep. I, Claudius, BBC, classic BBC TV miniseries with Derek Jacobi and John Hurt. John Hurt especially, there he is. He plays Caligula. Amazing performance by John Hurt. Absolutely amazing performance. Yeah, very well acted throughout. But John Hurt especially, he steals the show. The notorious I Spit on Your Grave. Yeah, this is the uncut version. I never actually rewatched it. I've only seen it once, and I remember the first time I saw it. I remember that I used the fast forward button many times during the rape scenes, but when she finally got her revenge, that was very satisfying, of course, especially the bathtub scene. The bathtub scene to this day is very effective. Yeah. And by the way, I know there's a sequel to the original, and I'm not talking about the remakes or the sequels to the remake, but I'm talking about the sequel to the original, which I believe is called I Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu, and it stars the same actress, Diane Keaton. No, not Diane Keaton, you idiot. Camille Keaton, excuse me. But I've seen the trailer of that, but it looks really bad. It looks really bad, so I'm not going to bother watching that. And by the way, I heard that it's 2.5 hours long, so definitely not going to watch that one. But yeah, anyway. Here is the Iceman Comet by the great John Frankenheimer, Lee Marvin, Jeff Bridges, young Jeff Bridges, as you can see there, Robert Ryan, Frederick March. I haven't seen this film yet, and there's a good reason to, because this is 239 minutes long, so I really need to get the time to watch this whole thing, the Iceman Comet. And finally, we have the classic by Takashi Miike, Ichi the Killer. Insane movie, absolutely insane movie, this one. Anyway, that is it for Shelf 23. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back soon with Shelf 24. So stay tuned for that. Bye.